Hello, hello. I am sitting here getting ready to head out to Shayna and James's place for a big meal prep session. But before we go any further, hi, I'm Erica. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. I'm a personal chef, otherwise known as a professional meal prepper here in New York City. I'm gonna be cooking for Shayna and James today for the first time. So a bunch of stuff happened to get me to this point. I had a call with Shayna. We went over her likes and dislikes. Then I drafted a menu for them. She confirmed it. I placed the grocery order. I'm sitting here double checking that the groceries arrived right now, and then I'm gonna head out. Before I go though, let me talk to you a little bit about what I'm gonna be cooking up once I arrive. So while I was on the phone with Shayna, I learned that she eats a pretty much 100% vegan diet and tends to avoid gluten. So I'm obviously going to abide by her dietary preferences. So we're doing a vegan and gluten-free menu. It is full of amazing, really flavorful dishes. Just because we're omitting meat and dairy and gluten doesn't mean that we wanna slack on the flavor. That's just not the way I cook at all. And she also really wants to make sure that she's getting a lot of protein in with this meal. So we're making a really fun, kind of Japanese-ish flavored menu. Fun fact about me is that I was raised for part of my childhood in Japan, so I tend to lean toward those flavors quite a bit. So what we're doing today are 2 mains, 2 sides, and then a dish that can kind of flex as a main or a side. I like to plan my menus that way, especially if it's gonna be family style, which this one is. We want everything to mix and match really well together. We want the flavors to all go beautifully together, and that's what we're going for today. So we're gonna be doing a teriyaki tempeh shiitake lettuce cup situation. For our second main, a tofu pineapple stir fry. I'm also gonna be doing a red cabbage salad, and I'm gonna do a sesame almond butter dressing. And then for our final side, we're gonna do some cilantro lime brown rice. That's really simple. It's just exactly what it sounds like. The flex main slash side is gonna be a really lovely noodle dish that's made with rice noodles, and I'm gonna pack it with a little bit of protein by using edamame as a mix-in, and we're gonna do a miso mustard vinaigrette. So I am going to pack myself up, get myself out the door, and head over to Shayna's, and you're obviously gonna come with me. I'm very excited. So yeah, let's go. Okay, I just arrived at Shayna's. I unpacked the grocery. I got my setup all done. I'm obviously suited up in my apron. You've got my side towel here. I've got a mask on. Now I'm just gonna get to starting with the brown rice. That is the item that I know is going to take longest. It takes 40 minutes on the stove, so I will cook that while the oven is preheating for the tofu dish. So I'm already starting with my multitasking. Once I've got those 2 things done, I'm going to get started with some veggie prep. All right, let's get to it. So while my tofu is draining and the oven's preheating, the rice is on the stove, I'm just gonna get the tempeh marinating as well. I'm gonna start in on my cabbage slaw and the dressing that goes with it. All that needs to happen for this slaw is for me to process a few veggies. I'm making it a little easier on myself. I bought some pre-shredded carrots, and we're gonna dice up a bell pepper, get some cilantro, obviously do the cabbage, and then whisk together a simple almond butter sesame dressing for it. So the tofu's been pressed. I'm just gonna bake it off to get it a little crisp before it goes into our stir fry. I'm gonna toss it in a little bit of arrowroot powder. Cornstarch would work great. Both of those things just help the tofu get crisp in the oven. It's gonna go right in for 25 minutes, and then I'm gonna work on the tempeh lettuce cups while that's happening. So for the tempeh lettuce cups, the tempeh is getting tossed with some sliced shiitake mushrooms and some garlic, some ginger, some shallots. It's just gonna be a really nice aromatic situation. It will be very, very savory, which I love in a vegan dish. And I'm gonna make a little bit of sriracha mayo to go on the side slash on top of those lettuce cups whenever they're served. Okay, I've got my game plan fully in action right now. I've got the tempeh going on the stove, the tofu is baking in the oven, and it is time to move on to our stir fry dish. I am going in with some bell peppers that I'm going to slice up, a little bit of red onion, some pineapple of course, snap peas, and then we've got some garlic and ginger to bring out that really yummy aromatic flavor. And then the sauce is just going to be a really simple combination of a soy sauce, probably a little bit of maple syrup to give a tiny bit of sweetness in addition to the pineapple, and we're going to thicken it with some of that arrowroot starch we used earlier on the tofu. So I'm going to get to that, and we're getting close to the end of this meal prep, believe it or not. Okay, the stir fry is going on the stove. I am about to get started on finishing up my rice dish. It's just a simple cilantro lime brown rice. So I've got half a bunch of cilantro here. I'm gonna squeeze a lime or two into it, and that's pretty much it. It might get a little salt and sesame oil as well, depending on how it's tasting after it gets its aromatics. And then once the rice is done, I'm gonna transfer it into its storage container. The only thing that needs to happen now is the rice noodle salad. All it gets is some edamame for protein, a little bit of scallions, and then it gets a really yummy miso Dijon dressing. And I will partially dress the salad and leave some on the side for Shayna. Okay, all set. I'm just getting everything put away. I'm gonna take a few photos, a little bit of video, and obviously clean up the kitchen, and then I'm gonna get out of Shayna's hair and be all set with this meal prep. Before I go, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a like. Let me know if you'd like to see more gluten-free friendly meal preps, more vegan meal preps, if you'd like to see more client type meal preps. Leave that all in the comments box down below. Thank you for coming along with me. I hope that this was fun to see, and have a lovely, well-fed week ahead.